Hi, good morning. Happy Saturday. It's Diane. And I will just say the name of my channel. The end of it is Dashboard Confessional. And this is exactly what you're getting. Probably more and more because I'm getting up and at 'em on Saturday. And it seems like a good time to kind of wrap up how my week's been going. So it's Saturday the 23rd. Spring has sprung. And lost an hour, which I don't know, does that bother y'all? I love it when we gain an hour, and usually my trick there is I don't change my clock till Sunday night, and that way I get an extra hour of sleep in my mind. So I know it's just a mind game, but that's what I do. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I think I mentioned the attire here is very, you need, I forgot my ballet shoes. I thank God I had some Converse footy things on that were matching. Had I had boots on, no telling if my socks would have matched. I would have just grabbed whatever trying to rush out of the house. But slept a little bit later because I didn't sleep well and paid for it. I got here late and I couldn't figure out how to do the registration and pay for it, and I guess I didn't do it in time for her to get it on the roster. So that took care of that this morning. What's kind of funny, I think I probably said something that, when I called to talk about the class, let me stop here and just say this is a life update. So I know some of you, that may not be your jam or what you like to watch, but this is turning out more and more to be join me with my crazy life. Mi Vida Loca. And my different adventures, they change. I am trying to learn how to play the ukulele and get others to play the ukulele, and also picked up trying to learn ballet as an adult, obviously, and do plan to go back to belly dancing. So hopefully all these activities will keep my brain working and my body flexible and me happy. And if I'm enjoying it, I'm going to share it with you, and hopefully maybe you'll step out and do something you've always wanted to try. And like I said, I think last week, is you don't have to be good. And I think that was really hard for me to grasp. And, you're looking at yourself, at least in this class, in the mirror, and you're not doing it to the level that it should be done. But I have faith. I did get better. I'm more flexible. Let me see about this week. I did, there were some ups and downs to the week. There were some announcement made at work, so there's going to be some changes. And anyone that knows me in my real life here locally, probably more so my family and a few of my friends, is I'm not a person that is gung-ho for change. So this is really going to get me out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to have to, it's very, I can't go into it right now, but there is a blessing in it. So I think I had been talking to you about, just some changes and hoping to keep my job, and how outsourcing is going nowadays. So as of next Saturday, it will be, sorry, I look kind of funky. I just got up and threw myself together, but my 38th anniversary at work. So, that's when you start thinking about it. Part of our team is going to be rebadged, so to speak, and just to think that I'm no longer an employee of the company that I've been with for 38 years is kind of mind-blowing. And thankfully, I think they negotiated to basically try to keep us as whole as possible, and I'm very thankful to have a job. and be doing, I think, primarily the same job, but it's just a different mindset. I am old enough and been there long enough to go in, it would be coded as retirement. And although, would not start accessing those funds until, my plans were to work until I was 70. Both my mom and dad did that, and frankly, I could live a really long life, maybe. On my dad's side, my mom was, I think, 83 when she passed. My dad passed a year ago. I think he was going to be 88. I may be wrong. 86, 87, around there. And then his mother, my grandmother, died at almost 101. So when I'm thinking about what it's going to take to keep me viable or taken care of for who knows what length of time, I have to keep that in consideration. It could be for a long time. And what was so funny is my grandma that lived that long grew up, she was sickly, and, we really, she was always thinking she wasn't going to have a long life, and she actually had a long, actually very, I think, enriching life. She's where I probably got a lot of my creative genes from. She did, she painted on china or porcelain plate. She did rug hooking. She did quilting. She made ornaments. She always into something, and she had a sidekick, and her name was Peggy, and they loved all these different arts and did them together. And what better life to be able to have a house, have enough money for obviously medical care and food, and then be able to do your hobbies. I mean, does it get any better? I don't know. Not there yet, but I'm kind of at the mindset that you don't wait to retire to do what you like to do, because frankly, I think, as we've seen with my son-in-law, anything can happen. So seize the day, so to speak. Put yourself out there and try something new. And something real funny that happened. When I told my youngest daughter that, guess what I'm trying? This was the ukulele. And she's like, I have no idea. Because with me, it could be anything. I said, ukulele, it's coming back. And she's like, Mom, it never was popular. So every time I find something that is just somebody young and playing the ukulele with a cool song, I zip it over to her and just kind of smile. But haven't converted her yet. But I'm trying to get a posse of ukulele players to join my quest. And if they're in the area, maybe get together. Go to there's a Dallas ukulele headquarters group. I would love to have some compadres. Yeah, that's it. Join me, friends. And ukuleles are just fun. What can I say? I did post, I was going somewhere with that. Oh, okay. I got my hair cut. And as you know, if you watch my channel before, I get it cut every about 5 weeks now. And anyone with short hair, it gets to a tipping point where, you're able to work with it. It spikes up. It's easy to do, wet it, redo it. And then it gets too long. And then it's time to, get to your hairstylist. And I've been going to my hairstylist, Laura, and I won't give a last name, since the late 80s. So she knows my hair. And anyway, I gave her a ukulele. And I guess she just thought I was loaning it to her, but I gave it to her. And right before my appointment, it's quite a drive. It's almost an hour's drive, 45 minutes, hour drive, depending on traffic and weather. But I will go the distance to get my hair cut. It can go really wrong when you have short hair. So So it was time to confirm, and she said, oh, do you mind if I keep the ukulele a little bit longer till your next appointment? I'm like, no. Oh, she said that her husband wants to also learn how to play it. And he's this big, athletic guy. And this is a little bitty soprano ukulele that I gave her. And showed her how to get to the Cynthia Lynn, Lin, Cynthia. Free, 6 free lessons on YouTube. And Three Little Birds was my first song I learned. And I said, no, that's yours. And she's like, oh. And I said, you know, he's such a big guy. I can go up to like a concert level, but there's also a tenor, and then there's the bass. So for people that are larger, or maybe have longer arms or stronger arms, sometimes guys have, big fingers, and it's hard to get the notes on a, little soprano ukulele. So she said, well, I'm going to take some videos of us learning and playing. I'm like, yes. I have one person joining my ukulele tribe. So anyone that's seeing this that is interested, I would love to hear about it. And you can seriously get I believe it's a solid mahogany soprano ukulele with some strings, a tuner, not a great bag, but a bag. Anyway, for like $55 on Amazon. It's called Kamise, Kmise. And then that's one. But the other one is, God, I'm going to mess up the word. I think it's ALO something T. I'd have to look it up, and if you're interested, just leave a comment and I'll double check. But Kamise also makes a really dynamic looking one, but you can't go wrong with the price. And I said, go for it. Let's do it. Let's get the ukuleles going around the world. Anyway, let me know if I've swayed you into at least considering it. Look at the videos on YouTube. I think I posted on my Facebook. So, Diane Rivera, you can do a friend request. I'd love to have you. I uploaded or did a link of one of what I consider the world's greatest ukulele artist. And he can make that ukulele dance. Like, it's just amazing. And it's just, you've got to see it. And it's like, it's just a gift from God, is all I can say. And anyway, I posted the video, and my former boss, she said, Diane, she had told me that she had bought a ukulele when they were in Hawaii. And I'm like, well, get it out. And she sent me a saying that that she met him and got his signature on the ukulele. I mean, my God, that would be fabulous. I wish I had that one. But anyway, that's something special. So, heck, you can just hang up ukuleles, get different colored ones or different sizes and hang them on your wall and wall art, like the Fridas I had showed earlier in one of my videos a long time ago. I'm just rambling. Obviously, I had no planned notes. I do have something fun planned tonight. Some friends from junior high are getting together. My girlfriends from junior high. And some are driving in. Some have not been able to make it for some reason or not. But I think we're going to party on and meet for dinner. And it's not that far or hard to get to the place. And it's really interesting. In the States, it's elementary school, 1 through 6, and then 7 through 9th, at least when I was in school, was junior high, and then you went to high school through your senior year, which was year 12. And I went to one junior high as a 7th grader. And then they opened up a brand new junior high that you could transfer to where I lived. And so I did. And it was really fun. You know, we were the first ones at that school. And the friends we made there, the unfortunate thing was the feeder to those two schools ended up going to different high schools. So you would make these really good friends and then they're gone after 2 years. But that group is really tight. I mean, we've gotten together for happy hours and it's like, they're really fun. We've kept in contact and so I'm excited. So maybe I'll make a video there if they're game for it. Or at least maybe take some pictures and you can check out my Instagram. It's Lucky Gardenia. Or Facebook again, Diane Rivera, R-I-V-E-R-A. I say River with an A. It's the easiest way to remember it. What other things happened this week? I got the sweetest I am from someone that's also on Instagram, and I'm not sure she watches my videos. But I would love for her to. She lives out of state. I am me, so we're friends on Facebook, and just was so sweet and said that she hated to bother me, but she loved my style and asked me where I got my clothes. And I mean, what better compliment that, you know, at my age that somebody would be interested in where I was finding, you know, what I wore in my ensembles. And I was, you know, I don't go to these big name stores. I go to thrift stores and treasure hunt. And the one thing with this kind of brain that I have, I can kind of envision something and pull stuff together. And I know probably over a year ago I talked about, of course, the Holy Trinity, you know, the real one. But the second one to me is sterling silver jewelry, pearls, and turquoise. So I think I've got on silver and turquoise. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, so I really had nothing as far as where I could send her to because it's, you know, it's the luck of the draw. But it is a treasure hunt. And I think that's kind of the fun thing. And because I can find things that I would never go into that store. It may be too intimidating. I don't like to go to malls. Anyway, so that, unfortunately, I couldn't give her any direction other than there's a page on Facebook. It's called Wear Your Joy Project. And it's really where you just express yourself and wear fun, quirky things that everyone else doesn't wear. You know, I also shared with her, you know, I wear Doc Martens, the Mary Janes style, the high lace-up, kind of look like army boot ones with black tights, with dresses. I like Converse or Chucks. It's, you know, I have a milestone birthday coming up in about a month, exactly. One more day and it'll be a month. And you know, I've always been this way. It's just who I am, and hopefully my kids have gotten used to it, and you know, I don't embarrass them. I think they would maybe tell me if I embarrass them, but at least maybe they're getting an example of just express who you are and express joy. And there's so much going on in the world, so many things that you just look at and think, oh my God, you know, so many people impacted, like in New Zealand and all these horrible, horrible events, that let's be a little ray of hope or joy or happiness to somebody and be that nice person whenever possible. Not that that's something you could do 100%, but it just might make their day, and it might make yours too. And you may meet a friend. So let me see if there's anything else going on. Some big changes at work. I talked about it in another video, but I think I ended up getting a phone call and didn't talk about it. I had to jump off the video because it was kind of interrupted. But some big changes going on. But let me just say, I started as a mere child at this company, and it's going to be my 38th anniversary next Saturday. And that's almost unheard of nowadays. I think my dad worked for the company that he ultimately became the CEO and the chairman of the board. He worked there over 50 years, and he was in his 70s. And I think he was going to college when he joined, or became an employee, and started out as a chemist, and actually formulated a secretary there came up with an idea of whiteout, and asked Dad to make it, and he did. And he did not work that deal, let me tell you. I think he got $200. Can you imagine? Man, what a missed opportunity. But who else could say that their dad formulated liquid paper? Pretty cool. Anyway, he started out as a chemist, and then he worked his way up. And I was talking to a friend, and at his memorial service, they had someone from the company come and, talk about his work at the company he worked for. And what was so odd is, I'm his daughter, and the person who was high up in the company came up. I introduced myself, and he certainly knew who I was, and proceeded to say that, when my dad was ultimately it started as the president of the company, that this guy's like, why isn't it this other guy? And he deserves it more, or, maybe he wanted to work with him more. And the owner of the business, which I think there were two basic partners when they went into business. It was never like on the stock market or whatever. But anyway, this guy was like, why did you pick Paul? And this guy proceeded to tell me how he didn't think Dad should have been it. And the owner of the business said, nobody works harder than Paul. Paul works crazy hours. He comes up here on the weekends, and the other guy was kind of a party person. And it's like his work ethic paid off. But I just thought it was so odd. Why would you go to somebody's memorial service and diss somebody's father and tell them straight to their face, not even behind your back? And it's like, I was like, what is wrong with people? And, it wasn't easy, I wanted to do like the moonwalk backwards, like, man, you're wacky. And anyway, probably had been holding a grudge for a very long time. Anyway, kind of funny, but not. It's kind of, maybe think about what you're about to share, and is this the right person and the right time to be doing it? In that case, I would say probably not. But that's just me. Okay, so what else do I have going? Changes at work that threw me for a loop. But I guess I'm kind of like my dad. I think I was working till after 10:30 last night, and I wanted to get to a certain point with different things I was doing because I didn't want to be overwhelmed on Monday. And I don't think anybody likes to work late on a Friday, but I did. And my little coworker, my slacker coworker, Lucy, my dog, was there through the whole thing. And she didn't complain one iota, and she's just quiet. And I was talking to a friend, they just don't bark, and it's kind of amazing. And although I don't have a lot, not many people are coming to my door or visiting, but very rarely have I heard them bark. I had a Yorkie that barked, but got dementia and then got the sundowners and would bark, 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 crazy bark, late in the day, just because they get disoriented and probably frightened. Didn't even know dogs could get dementia or Alzheimer's. And back then that was Lucy. Oh yeah, Lucy's gotcha day because we don't know when her birthday was, but 10 years ago on the 21st, Miss Lucy Lou, my first pug, came into my life, and I was actually looking for a puppy. And I remember I was at the parade in Dallas for St. Patty's Day, and got a phone call that they had raided the whatever, the animal police had raided this backyard breeder and taken possession of all the dogs. And Lucy was just, I think I've talked about it, she was in such bad condition. But initially I was interested in a puppy, which was probably going to be a really bad idea. So ultimately, long story short, I was blessed with Miss Lucy, and she's been with me for 10 years. And when you don't know their birthday, it becomes their gotcha day, and that was when you got them as your family member. You're their forever family. And I think a friend put it, she rescued me, but I highly recommend rescuing dogs, and they really appreciate it. Find the right one, and you could foster dogs, and that way you kind of try them out to see, are they the dog you want? And a lot of times there's some foster failures, and those are the ones that when it really gets pushed to shove, they can't not adopt that dog because it's their dog. It's like when you look at them and you're looking for a dog and you just know they're your dog. And so if you're able to foster, especially in the DFW area, I think years ago it was like over 100 pugs were in foster homes. And that is just horrible. So all in all, I've had 4 pugs. I've got Birdie. Well, I have Lucy Lou. And then I got Maudie, Mimi LaRue, and she has passed. When she passed, I got Henry, Dancing Bear. And he had been left to die in the road after being hit by a vehicle. And the Longview Society, the Animal Society had rescued them and then called the Pug Rescue, because the DFW Pug Rescue are known for, they will drive to go pick up those dogs. And they will take them old, they will take them ill. And they have some vets that are pretty much experts in pugs. And they have done some amazing things. And some, they do fundraising, but there was some dog that I believe had been really abused, and the mouth, the jaw, everything was horrendous. And they actually raised money to get a surgeon that works on humans to come in and restore this dog. And I mean, if I ever retired and had money and still had my, able to get up and go, my volunteering would be go get those dogs. And, or be, the transportation. The foster dog needs to go back to the clinic because it needs shots or whatever. I think that would be rewarding. I can't own, I have 2 pugs right now, and after Henry passed, everyone, the family took on the name Dancing Bear. And, you know, I've been trying to think of a name for my ukulele tribe that I have faith is going to happen. Maybe I should do something with Dancing Bear, because that's really, we've taken it on, and so Lucy became Lucy Lou Dancing Bear, and Birdie is Liberty Bell Dancing Bear, but shortened to Birdie Bear. So for Lucy's Gotcha Day, they shared a can of albacore tuna, which went over really well, and then they each got a toy. So fun was had by all, and anyway, that's what a Gotcha Day is. And I think if you look at my Facebook or Instagram, you'll see that. But that's what that means. And or I guess you could just pick out a date in the year that you want to be their birthday. I do know Birdie's because I have the paperwork for her. And she is 13, so I adopted her when she was 10. So it appeared that the owner had her for 10 years, and I don't know what, happened for her to end up in the rescue. Maybe, the owner was elderly and had passed, or had to go into a home and wasn't able to take her. But she is just the sweetest little pup. And it was so funny. Like I said, they don't bark, but they will fight over toys. But they both are around 13. And have you ever heard of Lucy and Maudie used to try to attack Lucy, and I think she may have had a brain tumor. But someone who knew about dogs said, Lucy's doing something. You may not catch it, but there's like this eye that a dog can give another eye, and it's kind of like throwing down the gauntlet. And I saw that going on, and several times this week. And once it was Birdie. It's like, boy, that's a flip the script. It was like totally Lucy's the one that she gets a stance, and I was on it. It's like, we're not going to have a dog fight that I have to try and break up. So I don't know what was going on. Either they're frisky because it's spring, or maybe they're celebrating Lucy's Gotcha Day. I have no idea, but yeah, they were pretty frisky this week. Anyway, I better run. I got to do some errands. Gonna catch up with my girlfriends from junior high, and maybe I will talk them into saying hi on a short video. So who knows? Maybe back. But again, thank you for joining. I know I kind of ramble. I'm all over the place, but I truly love the channels where the people are real, and I get to know more about them, more about their world, what they're interested in. I can go find people. There's a new channel I found. Her name is Joy Womack. How appropriate. I keep talking about Joy, living a joyful life. She went to Russia to learn to be a ballerina at 15 and didn't speak Russian. And had to learn the language within 3 months, or they weren't going to let her stay at this famous, I can't think of the name of the famous Russian ballet school. But she moved there by herself to a country she had no idea what the language was. I mean, how gutsy is that? And it's just, she was 15, and I don't know exactly what year she was there. I think she was maybe there in 2013, and I think she still she works for she's kind of like a guest artist, but just seeing her view of the ballet world and living in a country that she is not a native of, and props to her. She has guts that I would never have. But she's traveled to China, Korea, Japan, all over the United States performing, and just as exquisite. I mean, she went to I think before it really rolled out here in America, Russia was the go-to place, and it's still Probably is. So check out her channel, Joy Womack, and please join my, subscribe if you like this rambling chat, and leave me comments, questions, and like it if you did. Anyway, have a super weekend and happy spring. Bye.